Those who care about young people who are in foster care know that their needs for supports, services, and relationships doesn't end at age 18. It's for that reason that no later than age 16, the Department of Human Services case manager or juvenile court officer will be working with the youth in foster care to find out what their dreams are, what their goals are, and to help them find the supports needed to help them transition successfully to adulthood. Young people in foster care, as you know, face many barriers. As they transition to adulthood, we want them to be as successful as possible. It's for that reason that we want to ensure that the system doesn't place additional barriers in the way of children aging out of foster care. We all have to work together to ensure that the processes that are in place to help youth transition from foster care are as effective and friendly for the child as possible. We want to engage the child, their parents when appropriate, and others who care for the child to help support them as they make decisions about where they will live, if they will attend school, where they might work, and who they will spend their time with as they transition to adulthood. We have many supports through the Iowa Foster Care Youth Council, known as AMP, through the Iowa Aftercare Services Network, and other programs and services to help young people even after they leave the foster care system. I encourage you to make sure that you're aware of the services and supports for young people who are transitioning from foster care to adulthood so you can best support them in fulfilling their goals and their dreams. At DHS, we employ 5 transition planning specialists. These are social workers who do not have a caseload. Their specific purpose is to help caseworkers and juvenile court officers understand the transition planning process.
Hi, my name is Julie and I'm 26 years old. I currently live in Huxley with my husband and I work in the aftercare program. So I work with young people who have aged out of foster care. I grew up in foster care myself. I went to Iowa State, got my degree in child, adult, and family services, and then have worked in a number of agencies and now work with youth aging out of foster care. During my transition years, the ages between 16 and 18, I lived in a relative placement, a shelter, and then a family foster home. I think the transition process is really important because it helps you realize that they need to think about their future and plan ahead for things like going to school, finding a job, or anything like that. I think some of the most challenging things for me when I left here was figuring out who I could get support from and just learning to reach out to those people and realizing that I wasn't alone and that I didn't have to do it all by myself. Some other things that were a little challenging was learning how to budget money on my own, just getting to places on my own and figuring all that stuff out. What helped me the most when I was transitioning between the ages of 16 and 18 was the support that I got from my foster mom, my DHS worker, and a little bit from a transitioning specialist. I had a transition meeting which was helpful, and I also learned about the aftercare program through my DHS worker and foster mom. That was really important because I knew the steps to get into the program and that I would have that extra support throughout my college days. I know a lot of youth are not aware of the programs, or DHS isn't aware, all DHS workers aren't, so I just think it's really important that more people are informed about this so that youth can get the extra support that they need. Another big support network when I was transitioning out of foster care and during the time that I was in college and just trying to make it on my own was Elevate, or what is now AMP. It's a program for youth who are in the foster care system or have aged out of the foster care system to kind of give themselves a voice and make changes in the foster care system that will better the youth in the future.
I'm Mitch. I'm 19 years old. I entered the foster care system when I was, I want to say, 8. I've been in kinship care, I've been in PMIC, I've been in shelter, and both Foundation 2 Youth Shelter and Tanager Place Youth Shelter. Oh yeah, and then Lynn County Youth Shelter. Yeah, transition planning matters to me. In a very weird way, because in the beginning I wasn't really much focused on it. I was kind of a butt about it, and nothing seemed real up until the moment where I actually had to like do stuff. I really butted heads with my social worker, and I never really did anything. When I didn't really put any effort in, I actually ended up aging out from Foundation 2 Youth Shelter and going directly from there into Willis Stady Homeless Shelter. That was a pretty massive wake-up call. Yeah, that was not very fun. Most important thing she probably did for me was, I think it was that she made her presence known. She was there, she was active, she was pestering me, so I couldn't just forget about it. I mean, she was an active participant, I guess. The vast majority of the time when I was in foster care, I had somebody else structuring my life for me. And so without all that structure, without people telling me what to do, I'm still recovering. Like even as small things as my sleep pattern, geez, that is wrecked. Social workers can get youth engaged by like pointing out like, hey, this is the homeless shelter you'll be staying in. Yeah, it kind of sucks. Like, it's not very fun. Just trying to jolt them a little bit, I guess, would be, because it's really easy to fall into this like pattern of just living, not really doing much of anything, just, you know, going through the motions. If youth show resistance or just don't seem to care, it's integral not to give up on them, because a lot of times it's almost non-intentional. The easiest explanation for why youth don't show interest is that it's easy to just move along day by day. It's easier to move along day by day and just not think about it, because thinking about it can get a little too real. Thinking about where you might end up or how much effort it's going to take can be more than a little frightening. You have somebody telling you how to do something and when to do something all the time, then you end up looking towards somebody to push you, and then when those people aren't there anymore, you're just like, oh, what do I do? It'd be astronomically helpful if social workers were to help their youth, to help remind them of their friends, their family, their support groups, and because it's easy to forget about those when you are in a foster care situation, because you kind of get into this, you know, it's almost like a lone wolf mentality where you're planning, well, not so much planning your life, but more being terrified by it. And you can sometimes forget that those people even exist, that it's not just you, you actually have a way out, a support system, a little bit of help.
Hi, my name is Abby and I'm 16 years old. Right now I live in a group care system. I am a ward of the state. I like to volunteer and do various community service projects. I'm an artist and I am a photographer. I've lived in one group care system and I was removed from my parents' home and lived with a relative in a relative placement for a while and then got returned to my parents. Honestly, I haven't really considered transition planning, but I really should start thinking about it. I know it's important for my future and I would like to, some things I would need to help me transition. I need to learn how to drive, I need to go to college, stuff like that, but it's really hard when you don't have the answers right away. I do a few transition groups a week in the placement I'm in to kind of help me get acclimated to like different things I'm gonna have to do when I do discharge into the real world or become older when I'm an adult. Some of these include balancing checkbooks, learning how to make business cards, learning how to apply for insurance, stuff like that. I don't know where I will live in the future. It's kind of, I'm in a waiting phase, which kind of sucks most of the time, but for my transition, I am in a waiting phase right now where I don't know where I'm gonna go. I don't really know what my options are. What I personally think I will need to help me be stable in transitioning is health care that's for free, because I do have a lot of mental health issues and it would be helpful if I didn't have to take money out of my time to pay for that. Basic necessities like deodorant, toothbrushes, tampons, stuff like that. Learning how to get a job, what to wear to an interview. Someone who would be able to help me in the next few years, I think, is Brent. He's my GAL and he's just a really great guy. I feel like he advocates for my needs really well. Transition planning matters to me because, honestly, I don't know what I'm gonna have for dinner tomorrow. And it's kind of helpful to know things in advance, and I'd like to know what I'm gonna do with my life, where I'm going. And it's scary, honestly, not to know what I'm doing. I need to know these things, and it's important to me that I do kind of figure this stuff out within the next year, even this year.
Hello, my name is Matthew. I am 19 years old. I live out in the country with my mom and dad. I used to live in a group home for 10 years of my life at 1011 and Mainstream Living and a couple other places. I went through AMP and Elevate. Elevate was the first thing I ever went to, but it changed into AMP, and I liked Elevate a lot. And now, since I went to AMP a couple times with the same people, I think AMP is doing much better than Elevate is in the same process, but we just need to work on some ups or downs and keep on going with the flow. What I truly needed to learn myself was to handle my anger issues and be respectful for other people and to live for myself. For me, I think it's going to be the medical and the food support because I'm a poor family person and right now I'm trying to look for jobs, interviews, trying to get myself out there where I can start helping myself to live what I'm going through and trying to help other people as I'm doing myself. 1011 group home, we learn how to do some chores, our laundry, how to fix our beds, and to talk out our issues. After I moved to Mainstream Living, or I should say Youth Homes Mid-America, and there they helped us more out with different types of skills like helping others out, caring, relationships. There's like 6 skills there. That's really helpful to me, and I hope that other people have the same experience as I went through.
Hello, my name is Chris. I'm 25 years old. My whole story started when I was 11 and when my parents' rights got terminated. That's when I really entered the system. Between the ages of 12 to 16, I was in a couple placements and as well as one shelter. Then finally, my last placement from 6 to 18 was a foster home. It wasn't really till I was 16 years of age that I really was they started to iterate it in me to want to do that, to learn life skills and transition into adulthood. That's when I first met my transition specialist, planning specialist. She met with me a couple times between the ages of 16 and 18. We kind of just went over it. She brought what DHS has that's called, it's a transition planning book. It comes with lots of different stuff. It comes with like how to apply for a social security number, how to get a bank account, how to apply for jobs, resume editing and all that stuff, as well as it comes with recipes on how to cook, you know, kind of, you know, how to do the day-to-day things that we do in life. I wish my DHS worker would have been more involved. I wish I would have got more one-on-one time instead of the only twice and everything. But I mean, because I think the more one-on-one time and the face-to-face helps it, and you know, maybe like the practicing of it, like maybe the worker comes 1 month and you practice filling out an app or like a resume. That would have helped a lot more. Aftercare, which that's a transition program. It's kind of part of transitioning. It happens after it's for 18 to 21. Basically, it helps you meet with the worker, you set goals and like stuff like they help you balance and do a budget. They help you like, oh, hey, you need to go to the doctor. Let's help you set that up and stuff like that. So it's a kind of an after aging out that helps you still transition. Because like I said, when I knew most of the stuff, but I hadn't practiced it. Yeah, AMP is it's a really good support. The one good thing to have when you do transition into adulthood is that support. You need that support. So like, you know, say, oh, I'm having troubles getting an apartment. You know, you need that support out there to be able to help you out. Or, hey, I need help with the car. And AMP is a really good thing for that and everything. Because I wasn't introduced to it till I was 18, so I didn't have that when I was a youth. But, you know, the good thing now is a lot of the youth are having that, so that's a really good thing to help. And it's been a really good help. It's been support there for me, you know, through some troubles in life. And I've been able to go to my group, and they've been able to, even if it's just my facilitator, help out with giving me resources to, you know, I mean, I'm doing all right, but I'm not doing the best. So transition planning needs to be incorporated with every youth, because I mean, we got to learn to do these things, or else we're going to fail. You know, we need to be set up for success. I mean, if we're set up to fail, we're going to fail. But if we're set up to succeed by teaching us these skills and kind of helping us learn them, you know, it will help us succeed more. What a lot of people don't realize is there is a lot of disadvantages to being removed from the home. You don't have that safety net to fall back on. Like if you run into any issues like, oh, hey, I can't afford a car, you know, like a lot of kids that aren't removed from the home and that are still in their home when they graduate, their parents will help them pay for half a car. They'll teach them how to buy insurance and be responsible, put gas in there. But with being removed from the home, I mean, especially, you know, being foster kids in group home and stuff, a lot of the issues that are worked on is like the behavioral and stuff, so there's not a lot of time left for the learning how to do that. And a lot of times, like especially me, I didn't have that safety net to fall back on. I didn't have anybody. So I mean, there's a lot more challenges faced with being removed from the home and everything like that. It's not necessarily a bad thing. We never say it's a bad thing being removed from the home. Sometimes it's a good thing, but there's just not that safety net like with not being removed from the home. Transition planning matters to me because it helped me to set up for real life functions like the car, balancing a checkbook, getting an apartment, getting insurance for a car. That's it's most important to me for that, because it helped me, you know, create a baseline for life skills in life to help me succeed in the best way I can.
And me.
And me.
And me.
And me too.